Hello, and welcome to the summer section of Online Brain and Behavior. My name's Dr. Douglas Wallace, and I will be your instructor for this class. The textbooks that we'll be using is Kolb and Wishaw, An Introduction to Brain and Behavior. The 5th edition was published in 2016, and we see a picture of the cover of the book right here. The best way to contact me is via email at dwallace@niu.edu. I typically check my email once a day during the week and once over the weekend. So if you need to get a hold of me, try email. One thing that we can set up via email is if you need further input or discussion, we can hold virtual office hours through Blackboard Collaborate by appointment. That would be a good way to cover material if you're struggling, because I can do a screen share with you and show you the slides for certain topics in the course. The purpose of this course is to help you explore and understand the biological basis of behavior. The student will first learn about the fundamental elements of the nervous system and their function, such as neurons and synapses. Subsequent lectures and readings will integrate these elements into a system or systems responsible for basic behaviors. So we'll start very small, and then we'll gradually branch out into more complex behaviors over the course of this semester. Our class sessions are structured to follow an online format. That means that you're going to engage with content through Blackboard Collaborate. I'm going to change over to the Blackboard window so you get an idea of what Blackboard looks like. Over here on the left in the red area, we'll see a panel here or a link for announcements. Content is where you can find the syllabus that I'm currently going through. And then right below that, we have all the closed caption lectures. You click there, and what you can see is this will be the lecture that I'm currently going through. And all of our subsequent lectures are listed throughout here. And closed captioning will need to be enabled, where you will click on and play, and then there'll be a little CC, and you'll be able to get the closed captioning content. So you want to take notes from these lectures just like you would during a face-to-face class. You'll need to log into Blackboard, like I said, and stream those so that you can listen to them. If you're having problems with that, that means maybe your browser needs to be updated. The ITS staff have a help desk in the library, and they're really great at helping students with any problems. If you're not on campus, you can call them. The phone number is 815-753-8100, or email helpdesk@niu.edu. And they are very responsive. Some of the Blackboard lectures will cover material that's not covered in the textbook, and we'll go into a little bit more detail than the textbook does. So it's in your best interest to engage with the lecture material. Now, if there's something you don't understand in the lecture material, you could always consult the textbook as a reference. I think that's a really good strategy. After you've completed or listened and taken notes from the lectures on Blackboard, then what you'll do is you want to attend or attempt one of the lecture quizzes. So you want to make sure that you kind of understand the material. And one of the things you can do is get a gauge of that understanding is take one of the lecture quizzes. Each lecture quiz will include 1 to 6 short answer questions based on the material just presented in the lecture. You'll have 10 minutes to answer one of those available questions. So you don't want to answer all of them. You only want to answer one of them. Once the time has elapsed, the quiz will automatically be submitted. So remember, you have 10 minutes to answer one of those possible questions. So there's some choice here. You want to read through all of them, decide which one to answer. The goal is to prepare you. These questions are meant to prepare you for the types of questions that you will see on the exam. This course is based on a lot of unfamiliar terms that will be easier to learn through distributed practice rather than cramming before the end of each exam is due. Each lecture quiz must be completed by the time of the corresponding exam. So we'll see down below we have 3 unit exams, and you'll need to have all these lecture quizzes completed prior to attempting that unit exam. Each lecture quiz is worth 5 points, and your lowest lecture quiz score will be dropped. To provide you further help in preparing for the unit exam, we have practice exams for you. Each chapter has a practice exam that will be administered through Blackboard. Practice exams include 5 multiple choice questions. They're pulled from a pool of 12 to 20 questions that are very similar to the exam questions. Practice exams are not timed, so you can take as much time as you want. And you can attempt each practice exam for a chapter up to 3 times. The highest score of your 3 attempts will be recorded. So even if you get 5 out of 5 in the first one, you will want to attempt that again, so you have a better chance of seeing those questions. And again, this is meant to assess how well you understand the material. The best score of your 3 attempts will be recorded for these practice exams. And these practice exams must be completed by the time of the corresponding unit exam. Each practice exam is worth 5 points, and again will drop your lowest practice exam score. After you've attended the lecture, attempted the lecture quiz, and completed all of those practice exams for each chapter, you can go on then and attempt the one of the exam for those chapters. So again, I want to make sure it's clear that you should attend the lectures, you should attempt the lecture quizzes, attempt the practice exams, and then you want to try the exams. They're all meant to provide scaffolding and training so that you'll do well on the exam. Each exam will have 30 multiple choice questions worth 1 point apiece and 2 short answer questions worth 5 points apiece. I want to make it clear that some of these are very similar to what you experienced during the lecture quizzes and during the practice exams. Once you start the exam, you'll have 1 hour to complete all of the questions, and then it will automatically submit. So the last assignment or component of the class will be what we refer to as the Mechanism of Action blog. In the blog, you will develop on Blackboard, and that will be kind of like an online Word file that you can type in, put links in to videos, or put pictures in, that will discuss the mechanism of action associated with a drug that you'll select from a list of possible drugs. The selection is on a first come, first served basis for those drugs. So as soon as you are able, email me for the drug that you want to select. Once you select it, no one else will be able to select that drug. The mechanism of action during this, or for this project, you'll want to describe the mechanism of action. How does it interact with the synapse? You'll probably want to attempt this after our section talking about synaptic communication. So what you'll want to talk about is the mechanism of action for that drug. How does it work at the synapse? Describe any effects on behavior that this drug has, side effects as well. And you'll want to describe the results of an experiment or empirical paper investigating the drug. Now this, you'll need to find those papers via PubMed, and that there's a link under the mechanism of action blog folder to PubMed. And so let's say you're interested in your assigned blog topic was amphetamine. You would go to PubMed, search amphetamine and rats, and you'll pull up over 1,000 different experiments that have been done. And it'll indicate if that article is freely available, and you'll want to select that. And that will be sufficient for describing the experiment, investigating the drug that you wanted. You'll also want to include your references in APA format. I've also included a link in there so that you'll be able to see what APA format looks like for your references. It's critical to include the journal title as well as the volume and page numbers. A full description of this project, rubric, and due dates can be found in Blackboard under the Mechanism of Action blog link. Anyone caught cheating or plagiarizing in any component of the class would be dealt with in accordance with Northern Illinois University policy. So how does the grades break down in this class? Well, final grades will be based on 3 exams. Each exam is worth 20% of your grade. So that's altogether 60% of your grade. The other 40% comes from lecture quizzes, which will be 15%, practice exams, which will be another 15%, and then the Mechanism of Action blog will be worth 10% of your final grades. And the grades are broken down as follows. An A, you have to get between 100 and a 90%. A B is 89 to 80. A C is 79 to 70. A D is 69 to 60. And an F is anything below a 59. So to go through what our schedule is for this summer, we know that our first unit will have 3 chapters. So Origins will be chapter 1. That's where we discuss a little bit of the origin of brain and behavior, some of the evolution topics. Neuroanatomy, there's going to be 2 lectures for that, broken into 2, discussing different brain structures and their function. And then we'll get down to some of the microscopic level of neurons and glial cells, these functional units of the central nervous system. So these all represent 1 unit, and they'll be due July 3rd. So you'll have to take all the lecture quizzes for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, the practice exams for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and then the unit exam that encompasses those by July 3rd. And these will all be due at 11:59 p.m. on July 3rd. The next unit exam encompasses chapter 4, or neural communication, chapter 5, synaptic communication, and chapter 6, drugs and behavior. Again, you'll have to complete the practice exams, the lecture quizzes, and the unit exam by July 19th for that unit. Our final unit, which will be due August 9th, encompasses chapter 8, development, chapter 9, visual systems, and chapter 12, which is emotion and motivation, and then chapter 13, sleep. So for all those, you have to complete the lecture quizzes and the practice exams and the unit exam that encompasses all of these chapters by August 9th. If anyone needs assistance through the Disability Resource Center, they should contact them and let me know as soon as possible so we can make arrangements to help you succeed in this class. The syllabus has information about the DRC. It's located on the 4th floor of the Health Service Building, and also can be reached at 815-753-1303. Or you can email them at the provided email, drc@niu.edu. So again, I really hope that you enjoy this class. I want to take you around a little bit to show you what Blackboard looks like, some things that you'll want to be aware of. So again, you kind of see where the closed caption lectures are located. Here's the content. This is where you'll see the syllabus. I've also included some videos and interesting kind of links for people to watch and look at if they're interested for each chapter. So check back here and see what you want. Oftentimes I get emails from students who are kind of excited about the content and do some of their own research. So what I'll do is I'll post links from them, typically Brain and Behavior on the web, that's where that'll occur. Under the closed caption lectures, you can either choose to stream the lecture right there in the window, or you can expand it to full screen. So these are all the lectures that you'll have to complete for this class, all the way through chapter 13. And again, you want to use the syllabus to select which ones you need for each unit. The lecture quizzes are over here under lecture quizzes. We have an intro 1 and a chapter 1, 2, and 3. That will be all fair game for the first unit. And you'll notice that we'll have a couple of extra credit opportunities here with these two videos. Well, a video and a podcast that you can listen to. So you want to click on that link, watch that video, or go here and listen to this podcast. If the video doesn't work, sometimes they take it down, search YouTube for Secrets of the Mind, and that should get you where you need to be. It should be about a 50-minute video. Those both at the bottom are 2 extra credit opportunities. Practice exams are located here. Again, the practice exams are not timed, and you can attempt each one 3 times. And then our exams are located under the exam. You'll notice that it says Unit 1, and it tells you that you need to have a good understanding of the lecture and textbook content from Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. And you should have attempted all lecture and practice exams prior to starting this. And it will give you an hour to attempt that. Then, under Mechanisms of Action blog, what we have here is the blog description, rubric, and due dates. Here's the topic, blog topic assignments. So you'll click on this link and you can see all the different blog topics. Once you find one that you're interested in, then email me and let me know, and I will then send that to you, approve it, and then you can start doing your research. Here's the link where you actually will start your blog. So you will click on the Mechanism of Action blog, and then just click blog entry, and you can start typing, entering in whatever you want. Think of this as an opportunity to be kind of creative, doing something that you can't show with a lecture quiz or practice exam or the exam. Try to be creative, but keep that content. Make sure that you've looked at the rubric to see what we're looking for in the rubric. Here's that link to PubMed. So if you follow that link to PubMed, what happens, you come here, and so you're looking at certain drugs. You just type in the drug name, and it'll pull up a bunch of information about that drug. So this is what you want to use to search for those empirical papers. Finally, APA format help. This basically allows you to go, and it shows you how to create a reference list, basic rules. Make sure that in your mechanism of action, when you're listing those references that you use, such as the textbook or those empirical articles, that you include the journal title as well as the volume number and page numbers. And then if there's anything we need, we can always set up a discussion board to get people talking, but that's not going to be a graded or formal portion of the class. Again, make sure that you can receive announcements. I do send them out to remind folks of deadlines related to each unit, and I hope you enjoy the class. Good luck, and we'll see you for the next lecture.